this is Lisa Rana from Dollhouse Designs. Welcome to another Assemble This video. I finally found time to show you how I created that cutout card for the Spellbinders hop that I had with Unity. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm starting with is a 12 by 12 piece of craft cardstock by Basil. You could also do this with an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I just did a 12 by 12 so I could get my belly band out of one full sheet, and the leftovers I ended up using for the tag that went along with the cutout card. So the first thing I want to do is to cut out 3/4 of an inch strip, and that will be the belly band for the card. So I'm just going to do that real quick, and then the next thing I'm going to do is cut at 8 inches, and this will start the card base. So now we have this leftover sheet, and this is what I made the tag or the matching bookmark that goes along with the card that I showed on the Spellbinders hop. So now we have an 8-inch by 12-inch sheet, and now I'm just going to cut it at 4 inches. I'm going to cut 2 4-inch by 8-inch strips. And again, you have another nice piece to either create another 4 by 4-inch card or something else. So here's our base pieces. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, I had turned off some lights so you wouldn't get as many shiny spots, but I seem to not be able to get away from that. So we'll just continue on. So here's our base. We're not going to need the belly band right now, so I'm going to set that aside. So the first thing we also need to do are score these. Get my score tool out here. And we're going to score at 2 inches and then again at 4 inches. And then again on the other one as well. So now that we have that, you're going to fold it in half and then fold the top flap back. And then on the other one, you'll fold it in half again and the top flap back. So you're going to have 2 Z's. There's a Z there and a Z there. And they'll go together like that. So I'm going to actually trim this one down like a little tiny bit so it'll come in closer. Just so you can see, I just cut off just a tiniest little trimming here. And that way it will sit a little bit closer to the opening. You don't want it to be exactly butted up to it, so it'll open a little bit better, so just a smidge apart. And what I'm going to do is take a piece of Scotch tape and hold them together that way where I am going to place my cutout. So this is going to be my cutout. So I want to make sure my tape is inside that cutout. That. Okay. And now the next thing I want to do is stamp the front. I'm going to do it now before I do the cutout, just because it's easier. I don't have to worry about stamping on the inside. So I'm going to take 2 pieces of paper to mask it so I don't get the insides. You could also stamp the insides if you wanted to, that's up to you. But this is just how I'm going to design my front here. Put this aside. And I just have a background stamp here. Here I have some Versamark, and I'm just going to ink up my background stamp here really well. And stamp the front. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to do it in twos. So now that we have the Versamark stamped on, I'm going to grab my die cut machine, which I use the cutout bug. And I'm just going to sandwich in my Spellbinder die here. Now I don't want this to move, so I'm going to go ahead and use another piece of tape, just a small one. And again, I want it to be on the inside of the die cut. That way it won't ruin my card base. Now we'll just sandwich it and cut it out. Take a look and see what we have here. Because it's so thick, I ran it through the machine actually a couple times, 2 or 3 times, just to make sure to get through both of those layers. So it just pops out easily like that. What's kind of fun is that you end up having some leftover little pieces that sometimes you can use. I just ripped that one apart, but I guess you could use this side. And it could be a nice little gift card holder that you could glue into the inside of the card, or find some other fun little tab use. So I wouldn't throw these away because they will be useful in other little things. Okay, so now we have our 2 halves, and now we need to glue these guys together. So we'll just do that really well. Make sure you get lots. And a lot of times I'll do a combo of tape, and then I'll throw in some glue stick to really get a nice bond. Okay. So now I just want to make sure these line up. So there is some people call it a Z-fold or a folded cutout card. The next part would be to get your belly band. And you would need to score this at a little more than 4. And then at 8 1/4. And then what I do is just put it on the front here. And then glue it together around the back. That way I know it fits perfectly. Just like that. So that creates the belly band and the actual cutout card. So that's part 1 of this card. If you're done with watching how I made the cutout, you can go ahead and skip part 2, but part 2 is how I will finish creating this card. Alright, thanks for joining me. See you next part. Bye.